Tennessee. It's beautiful. The sun is glazing down. It feels great. And I'm out here and I'm walking and I'm thinking and just going in for another round of exercise and get my son. And there's a feeling I have whenever I come here. Um, I see it, I feel it with everyone that looks at me. It's I have to get on the edge when a car comes, even when it comes from behind me. I just kind of look, see if I see a snake, but as they pass by, the way they look, you know, and I'm listening to Nina Simone, Strange Fruit, because it's on my mind. I saw another story today, and I keep putting these stories together a little bit so I can come talk about them. But not only am I busy, just it's difficult because I'm always thinking about it. I'm always, having to mourn these issues, and you got to really contemplate what is, and you have to make sure that if nothing else, you can put up the best fight of your life. Because, like I said a long time ago, and it still remains true. This is a serious curve here, so I'm probably gonna get on the other side. Wait, I hear a car coming. But I like it when I drive through here. Oops, see, I told you I heard one. This is like coming down the mountain. Um, I also want to go live for my safety because I want to walk. That's me. That's what I do. I like the adventure. I like to, you know, nature. It's nothing like it. And then hell, we're in the mountain. Um, and yes, they're all white. Everybody that passes me, they're all white. And um, let me see how I can say what I want to say because, this is definitely business related. So I'm going to be careful when I say. But uh, yeah, you understand without it being said from everyone. But I'm walking, I'm looking at all this that they would gladly take me and put me in a tree for just walking through here. And I, the way I think, but you stole it though. Every last drop, you stole it. And I'm never scared. I'm never scared. I'm troubled. I'm aware, concerned, and I train. And it never leaves my mind. Um, but although I'm never scared, you know what I have to tell myself too? And that's probably one of the reasons why I went live, because it's undeniable. It's undeniable. All that they went through to get all of this, you best believe they'll do even more to keep it. And that's what they're doing. So I ran into another story today, and I've been here a couple of days. This is, again, business related. You guys can feel what I'm saying. So it's one of my terminals. I hear leash. I'm very good in nature. So when I come to places like this, see what I hear. What it's where there may be water hiding. You know, wildlife. I kind of looked that up too. So, no, it's a beautiful day. Again, I'm inside of the mountain. It's not welcoming to brown people here. And again, I don't know what goes on through their heads, but what goes on through my head is you ain't shit though, because you stole it. I wonder what tree that is. Not really a good point. My camera, oh, pears, full of fruit. And that's something with a bird's nest. Yeah, those are pears. I think this is our shit. All of it. Everywhere. Ours. And not only did we allow them to take and keep and be doing just fine, they, they're hunting us. Clear as day. Between 2025 and 2026, there were more than 10 lynchings. More than 10, way more than 10 lynchings. I'm not even in the road. um, and they immediately say, no sounds of foul play, just um, hmm, they did it to themselves. I think I'm probably gonna turn around at this point. My instincts is telling me to do so. Although I want to keep going. Um, hmm. If I got the other way, it's a short trip to the front of the road. But it's a nice little church I put up. I made my, it's got a, in the grassy area, I make a little obstacle course and go backwards and jump this and do that. Got a little hill kind of like that, but smaller and all that. So I do all kind of activities, calisthenics or whatever. But they got a nice gym inside. I'm going back in. Get that flag. Once I get back, I just needed to be outside, needed to explore this beautiful mountain. It's too bad that I can't explore it like I want to because I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at. So I saw a story today. This happened in 2023. Family still wants answers um, for a young brother was out with his not friends, but he thought they were, and they had a rifle, and then there was a 911 call, and they said the rifle, the trigger. What is that sign? That sign says I can shoot your ass. That's what it say. They said the tree branch pulled the trigger of the rifle. That's what they said. The tree branch pulled the trigger. And they confiscated the brother's phone. Of course, he's deceased from that, but they didn't confiscate the other guy he was with. And of course, they didn't investigate either because they said, hey, that was an honest accident. You guys got to be careful when you're out there with your weapons. So the family is still dealing with that. And of course, you guys may have heard about there being another sister. Hey, yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I like the mountains. I like all kinds of nature. I also like, just I like doing research, taking history, going to the archives, that sort of a thing. Look at these beautiful trees. I like finding out about towns and states that I go to, and but I would love to just keep walking this mountain. But It's too easy. Why feed them? It's too easy. You know, it's too easy. It could be anything. Uh, it could be they accidentally ran you over. They sent their dog down to get you, and um, oh, she was on my property. Um, she was pointing that camera. They could say anything. They stole all this, y'all. Every last drop, every position, every ownership, everything. This is our shit. It's everybody's. It's God. It's nature. But certain people get to enjoy things because their ancestors put in work. Uh, Deadly Christian work. And I talk about that in my last live. And we don't talk about it enough, especially, excuse me, since it's happening so much. You see, all they got to do is tell that dog to come up here. Hopefully I shoot him. But, you know, so it's a shame because you got to think about that. You got to train for it. Um, you got to be ready. And I don't know what others say, but for me, oh, they're going to have a fight. And it was something about, look at the mountains. So beautiful. Yeah, it was something about, look at that fertile grounds, fertile. All kinds of food you can grow. Just fertile. The mountains are always fertile. Fertile. Our people should be good. No worries. You know, not only do we have to fight for our own survival, we need to get our shit back. I'm 50 now, and I just can't see uh, leaving in this lifetime, and we don't kick some ass and get our shit back. You gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. It's really hard. It's really hard to think that we just gonna keep, and I say we, but I mean y'all, letting these motherfuckers put down on us the shit they put down on us. Why they do as good as they do. Took, took from our people. Our people died for this. Our people died. They were tortured. They were used. They were abused. There's so many things, so many stories, so many truths that nobody really talks about like they should. There was three sisters that I know about, probably more, this year. In the last few months, one of them was just last week. They put her in a tree, and of course they immediately said they did that. Just like that lantern hanging from that branch. And the one they most recently found, I'm gonna do a full story on her. They got the picture of her hanging, and her rigor mortis set in with her hands up, trying to get the rope from up under her neck. You know what's crazy? Since I've seen that picture, I don't really see much else. I don't see much else. That's a sister. And you can see the coagulated blood in her legs and in her left arm, and the right arm, just from the angle, it just kind of looks normal, but it's probably coagulated on the underside or the backside. And that's where her legs, her hands is frozen at, trying to get whatever it was from around her neck. and they had to get a ladder to get her down, and it was in a black neighborhood. And every time there's something, because it's just the way I am, I start thinking to myself, if that was me, what would I do? What could I do? And I make sure I find answers to that. And that's crazy because, of course, you don't want, you're not supposed to let, you know what they always told us when we were young? Don't let them get you to the second location, right? Um, so you definitely wouldn't want to let them get you with something around your neck or get their hands on you, period. But because it's so, it's basically illegal, and I think in most, if not all states now, people might not stay to the end. And I was thinking, because I've seen it done before. I come from a family of martial arts on my father's side. Manson Gibson is my uncle. You can check him out, the Black Bruce Lee. And I've been training since I was little. It's all self now, but I've seen it's done. And you got to be great to do it. But I asked myself, would I get my ass out of that? Could she pull her body weight up? Could she flip? Could she this? Could she that? But then I said, fuck all that. Okay? Calisthenics and, doing all that kind of stuff. And I can, uh, you know, do drills and scenarios and make sure that I get to the best shape possible. And, um, I become Houdini and all that bullshit. Uh, but I said, hold on a second. What the fuck is wrong with us, man? What is wrong with our people? I'm slowing down because my place is right around that little curve. And I really want to go back that way. I don't want to leave and go inside. As much as I love the weights and all that, I want to explore out here. And I guess I go up the street the other way because I had a certain amount of time that I wanted to be out here. And it's not over yet. But what's wrong with us? It's never gonna be what you want, what you hope, what you would like. It's always exactly what it is. These people been showing you, they've been telling you all day long that it's war. And they were very open with that on social media after the Carmelo incident. I've seen so many conversations and comments that they was gonna start picking us off one by one. And again, unlike us, they all stick together. They all stick together. They all stick together. There's no conversation needed, no meetings, no reminders. They know exactly what to do. When someone posted the sister picture hanging, some people got mad. Why would you post that? Some of us need to see it. Some of us need to see it. I know I did. I know I did. And I'm going to tell you, I don't contemplate or debate or ponder upon anything else. He ride real slow. He checking me out. Not that I wouldn't. I mean, what the fuck is she doing? Enjoying nature. That's all. But They doing exactly what they said they was gonna do. And they is all of them. We know this. The police, everything. That's why they always say, I don't see any signs of foul play. They said that with the sister. Huh? What you mean? Because when I saw her hanging like that, and I said, I got to make sure that that could never be me. Um, First step is what? Let them get their hands on you. Okay, if they do, then what? What if you are hanging? Can you get the fuck out, or are you gonna be stuck in rigor mortis just like that? I cannot give them the satisfaction, but I cannot sit up here and act like it's only a matter of time because our people ain't doing shit. It's only a matter of time for everybody. It could be anywhere, anytime. You could be watched. You could be hunted. They hate us. You know that. You know why. They want us gone. Uh, if you don't understand that as much as you should, Francis Cress Welsing, the ISIS papers, you should. I'm gonna turn the camera towards me or the back of me or what have you. Ooh, dead squirrel squished. Cause you know, I don't want to show the property and everything. When they do that, when they automatically say there was no foul play, they did this. I it's so insulting to me that I don't know what to do with the shit I be feeling. And I have to try to recategorize it, turn it from anger into, okay, I'm gonna take it out on these weights. Uh, what can you do? Okay, I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna research that. I'm gonna find out this. I'm gonna be ready for this. I'm gonna be ready for that. Cool. I always said this. I said this all the time. I've been saying this for years. Of course, I want to be ready. I brought my children up training, doing drills and scenarios. I was raised like that to be ready for anything. But more than that, I want my motherfucking shit back. And that's more than just me. That's an ancestor in me that's been here. It ain't going nowhere. And even if I was to say, hey, no, you're going to have to chill on that. You're going to have to let that go. Just live and whatever. The fuck this? What the fuck is it? No, because it ain't. It ain't right. I'm offended. I'm offended. I'm upset. Um, and I just ain't gonna be cool. Uh, if I pass, I won't be cool. I don't want no funeral. Um, I don't want nobody gathering to do shit. Because what we should have gathered to do, we not doing, and I can't get past it. I'll never get past it. And I guess if that's the way it works, I'll come back again and again and again. I don't ever want to come back. It makes, oh, that's deep right there. You're gonna step over there. It makes sense that that's how things work, though. Because you can't, I just don't understand why our people ain't won't get up out of that funk they put us in. I don't understand how you can just go about every day and not want your lick back and not want your shit back. It's too many foul things that not only has been done, is being done, and then the audacity, the BS, the lies. and to turn it around and try to make it seem like it's you, and to raise all kind of hell, and to literally say, I know my phone is going to overheat. Carmelo couldn't defend himself, and he didn't deserve even a trial. All the things they talked about, how they wanted to kill him. And if this was a few years ago, he wouldn't have sat in no jail. They would have went and got him. When they let him out on bail, they were even more upset. And again, if this was a few years ago, they would have went up in their house and they would have got him. It's like they got Emmett Till, just like they got many others. The amount of heads I wanted to bust just listening to, looking and reading and all that, the shit they were saying about him, because how dare he defend himself? And if that means his offenders, the people who dare bother him, threaten him, have to be gone from here, absolutely not a what. And if y'all don't think that that fully activated them, you are crazy. Pay attention. 3 sisters, so many brothers, but 3 sisters. And only a case here or there will get highlighted, like uh, Nolan Wells. Pay attention to how they moved in that, you know. My opinion, did what they did, you know, came back the next day because that's their shit. They know how that works. Ranger go make sure nobody's there. Came back, dropped them off, went home, cleaned up their boat, and delete that social media and look at all they got on their side. Immediately, everybody gets into action. They get into character, and they stayed there. They ain't left since. Look at what they doing to his mom. And she ain't said half the things that some of us other sisters probably would have said or done by now. She just said, "What happened to my son? I want to know what happened to my son." And they are doing everything to try to destroy her, because how dare she ask? Your boy drowned, and that's it. So she's supposed to put her head down and shut up. Just like back when they would take your child right in front of you and do whatever right in front of you, and you can't even show emotion about it. Why they stand you in your face, make you sure they don't see you flinch. Make you had a baby just so they could take it, even if it's a baby by them. And then she brings in Crump, and oh, the audacity. So that takes them up another level. I get tired of seeing shit like this. When we know it. And to immediately say they did it to themselves. It's just some things we know because we special, we're gifted. We just know. We don't need it to be proven in a court of law. We don't need nobody to give us permission to actually believe that, understand that. We know we're not hanging ourselves. Our people were meant to be warriors. We are in tune with this earth. Our natural instinct is to be here. Why we're not fighting this, I don't know. I don't know. But we're not going to put that type of torture on ourselves. especially given that that was their main source. And lynching is not just hanging, it's um, all the other things that they do too. Nolan, that was a lynching. But we know that that was their thing. That was their ritual. We would not do that. Then when you think about the act of deleting yourself, all right, I could turn y'all around now. And how that works, it takes a lot to be up out of here, especially when God didn't say, okay, it's your time. It's you making that decision. It's going to be harder. It's going to be worse. You're not your creator. And I think we have a right to decide because fuck this. We're going through it. If I say I had enough, I had enough. But I don't think the creator sees it that way. So it's not going to be easy. Most of the time when people do it, unless they're surely insane and just ain't thinking straight, they try to plan it. They have a fear. What if I don't succeed? I'm a vegetable. What if I don't succeed? And I'm just laying there feeling it. And nobody even knew to come help me. And I'm just, feeling it. They think all kind of shit about what if this don't work. I'm sure that stopped a lot of people who wanted to before because they like, it's not going to be as easy as you think to delete yourself. What if you put yourself through a hanging to where you're pretty sure you're intelligent enough, you thought this out, that there's no way you're going to be able to get your body and your neck up out of there, then what would be your next thoughts? If you even thinking like that, your next thoughts are going to be, what is this experience going to be like for me? Because no matter what, you got to come to a, 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 a place to say, I'm done, I'm out, and then try to carry it out. But that don't have nothing to do with how you're built. You are going to try to save you. Your brain is going to try to save you because that's how your brain works. Okay. That's why you have to strengthen your mind. You have to get your mind together to do shit that you just haven't been able to do because your mind, your brain is always wanting to protect you. That's its job. And when you're trying to do something, train harder, all this, your brain is like, hey, that's enough right there. This is hard on us. Chill out. And you got to push past that. When your body is failing and dying, your brain is going to do everything it can to stop that from happening. And when you're hanging from a rope by your neck, that is going to be painful, but it ain't going to really be that quick. Okay? It's going to cause you to eventually pass away, but it ain't going to be that quick. Sometimes you can twitch and kick and struggle. It's too much noise here all night long. Like the brother I told y'all about that story yesterday, and they kept dipping him in the fire. He was trying to get himself up from around get the rope from around his neck. They wanted him to stop doing that, so they cut off his fingers and laughed at him with along with their children while he was using his nubs. And they dipped him down into the fire. And when it just after a few hours, they was like, okay, pow pow. And they usually do that because some they can leave out hanging all night long just so the slaves can walk by and see it and be tortured right along with it. Nobody is going to want to do that to themselves. Nobody is going to want to put themselves through that kind of torture. When someone usually wants to leave, it's not because they hate themselves. It's because they just hit a point of hopelessness. They actually pity themselves and they hate what they're going through on this earth. And they feel like it's too overwhelming and they don't want to take any more of it. And they really can't see how this is going to end anytime soon or get any better. So they're pitying themselves. Not that I look down on that, because it's hard out here for every species. But they're pitying themselves. And so they just don't want to keep doing it. They want to just leave. You're not going to put yourself through worse torture. You're going to think of how you can just get this over with. That is one of the dumbest things, the dumbest ways. It's going to cause you a lot of torture and pain. You're going to be trying to undo it, and you're going to have the mental and emotional additional pain of not being able to do that while you're trying to do it. Because you came to the conclusion you don't want to do this no more, but while it's happening, you're like, shit, I'm actually getting ready to fucking die. I don't want to die. Your brain is going to be doing that. But you can't undo it. You can't get out of it. Nobody's doing that to themselves, especially our people. We would never give them the satisfaction. Never. We don't think like that. We don't move like that. You can have the most depressed people in our group, and they even may think on occasion, I'm not cool with being here no more. I hate it here. But they don't actually go and get to a point where they say, yeah, I'm up out of here. I'm gonna plan this thing and do this thing. That's not very common for us. It's in our blood. We've been through the worst of anybody, and we have survived it. Their people are not accustomed to that type of suffering. They made sure to inflict it upon us and other people and create a life to where they don't have to know about that. So when they come through hardships that we would skate through, they are quick out this hair, not a spider web, to delete themselves. They also tend to do it quickly. However, some of them will use a hanging, especially when they go to prison. That's if that's what really happened to them. And that's mainly because they don't have too many other ways to do it, being in there. But they will definitely hang themselves before we do because they know about hanging. They know how to kill by hanging. Them Boy Scouts know the knots. You take any of these brothers, any of these sisters that were found, and ask anybody that know them how good are they with knots. I'm not good with knots. Don't tie nothing in a knot and give it to me because I'm gonna be mad. That's something I've been working on, especially with macrame and paracording. But I suck at knots. One thing you're gonna have to consider is that knot. You're gonna have to make sure that if you're gonna do this, the weight of your body, everything, the tree branches isn't gonna break, and that knot is not gonna come loose. Hmm. You know, I see some comments here. Grass needs cutting. I'm out here in the freaking mountains. Man, get your ass out my chat. Talking about you could just pray to God about the situation and humble yourself a bit, and that's all we could do because we all have problems we have to get through. Get your ass out of here, troll. I guarantee you, these people that weren't proficient in knots. You got to have confidence to do that. Nobody wants to try it, something like that and be found and have to be rescued. It's going to be embarrassing. Most people who have failed attempts, they're embarrassed because you literally tried to take yourself up out of here. People. So congratulations. Thing. It wasn't until I started with the cuss words that I got taken off here. But be cool, you two, because I done already turned down like 5 of your little side jobs. I don't care about them anyway, but I like the capabilities I get from doing them. But don't start messing with my lives because all this content that I'm about to do, you sure ain't gonna like it. But it is what it is. But it wasn't until I started cussing out that troll to it started dropping me. But yeah, nobody wants to be found. And you gonna have somebody, a cousin, people on social media. Our people, we are so unserious. And somebody gonna clown your ass. This nigga tried to hang themselves and couldn't even do it. Nobody wants to be found. You have to be super confident to pull that off. It's not easy. I don't know if anybody's ever like really sat down and thought about what would you have to do to make that happen. I saw a little snippet. I didn't see the whole video he posted, but I saw a snippet of a brother and he went outside and he went to a tree, he got a rope, and I'm not even sure if he knew the correct knots. They got a knot called a noose knot, actually. But he had his little noose and he said, I'm gonna see if I can hang myself. I saw him do a little something, but again, we're so unserious. I don't know if he actually gave it a good heave ho. I've given it a little thought, not too much, because you honestly have to be careful, in my opinion, of where you truly let your mind go to, given the context of why you're going there. But I tried to really consider, although a part of me is like, did you really do that? But yeah, I mean, we're in reality and we're you just got to do critical thinking all the way around. I tried to really consider, could it be possible that one or two may have done it? Immediately I shoot that down. We're not doing that. But just hypothetically speaking, it's too damn difficult. This is 2026. Because again, when I saw her hanging, because every time I look up, I could see her hanging. After I started thinking, I don't know about other women. As a sister, I see these girls, I see me. That's the first one that they posted, her actually deceased, hanging in that tree. They had to get a ladder to bring her body down from that tree, and they did it in a black neighborhood, a predominantly black neighborhood. I assume they didn't stick around to watch it carry itself out. And I thought about that. It's a house next to other houses, blah, blah, blah. They had to get up out of there. And she was left to struggle. I said, would I be able to get myself up out of there? But then you got to ask yourself, they keep saying they did it to themselves. No foul play. Wait a minute. How likely is that? How likely is that? Okay, what would we need to consider? What are all the things we would need to consider doing this? Location, traffic in the area. You don't want nobody to stop you because you thought this through. The tree branch, your weight. You got to know the condition of the tree. That branch, the tree could have been rotting out, or it could have been getting ready to shed the branch, anything. What if it breaks and you just fall your ass down? How long would this bout take? What all would I go through these stages? What of this actually takes me out of here? What am I gonna go through? And then you're gonna stop right there because that's too much. You leaving the bullshit. You're not trying to give yourself the worst torture while doing so. That's why they did us like that, to torture us and watch us squirm. Nobody wants to do that to themselves. You don't hate yourself. You're pitying yourself. You're sad. You're depressed. You feel sorry for yourself and the shit you're going through. So you want to alleviate yourself of any further bullshit and leave. You don't want to torture yourself. Nobody. 26. You think I'm gonna think about doing some dumb? Then I gotta think about how am I gonna get up there. We gonna skip past the torture because for some odd reason I'm gonna say yeah, I'm cool with that. Why? Are there not any other options? But okay, I'm cool with that. All right, how we gonna make this happen? Hmm. I mean, it's a pine tree I'm looking at right now. That wouldn't be it. Pine branches are easy to break. How many people would know this shit? You got to do research. Because again, you want to make sure you get this shit done. Would your average person know not to mess with that pine tree? That ain't gonna happen? Probably not. I don't know. They would have to look that up. What would be the best tree? The best branch? How long is it gonna take? What am I gonna go through? What is my body gonna feel? You know what? Fuck all that. What's an easy way I could do this? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody who's been there before, I think most of us have. Whether you were little, teenager, in a situation, or just depressed, or whatever. Some of us have been there before, to certain degrees, certain levels. Probably the first thing people would think about is like, "Ah, okay, now you got to think that through. This ain't TV. What would be the fastest, easiest way that I could pow pow myself to stop me from existing? How does my body shut down? And maybe because I tend to, I like to research. I like to think. I like to really, really think the shit through and research. I don't know if everybody thinks like this, but if you're really trying to delete, that's permanent. That's a big decision. And again, it's not as easy it's not easy to self delete. It's not. So if you're gonna do it, you better make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, I could pop out myself. Okay, well, what would I do? Would I go for the head, the heart? It's a lot easier if some crazy person off the street did it to you and it just happened and they hit the right spot and then it happened given other circumstances. But you, how do I know I can guarantee this to happen? Because I'm trying to accomplish this. It's not something I can just fail with. All right, I'm gonna do it here. You can just say that. Where? What spot? Oh, that would be 10. I'm sure I'm still missing it, but oh, it's all about I hit the right spot to get you to again. You got about all that shit. Cause you says if God say with all that, I still ain't gonna let you leave. You still got I still ain't gonna let you leave. You still gotta consider that. You could say, I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna blah blah blah. And I researched it. This is how I should do it. I watched this movie. Let me look that up. He went underneath the chin. What's the trajectory? How is that gonna you gotta research it till you can't research it no more and be as sure as possible. And you probably gonna try to combine things. I think I would. I think I would be like, I mean, I ain't gonna really say, but I would try to make sure that this makes sense. And those are just tools that you're given that is mentally not easy, but physically it will be easier for you to do. It's too many choices. Okay. I'm in a state I don't live in right now. Do I know people here? Yes and no. But how do they know me? I don't do anything as far as substances or nothing like that. I don't do anything. Can I honestly say I know anybody here who got something? No. If I did, I wouldn't care to say it, but I don't. Not even the green. Uh, but I guarantee you, especially as a woman, because 3 women were found in the past few months hanging from a tree. Especially as a woman, if I really wanted to, I can get anything I want. If I really want it, I can get anything given to me that I want. No doubt about it. If I want to research the craziest thing that's on the streets now, if I want to, oh, they say that, how should I say it? It rhymes with Geritol. They say that that's the wildest thing. You can't even touch it and it's going to take you out, but everybody's doing it. Weird. Weird. What do I know? But hey, from what I know, just not even doing research, that's the craziest thing that you don't want to touch. Um, or if I research and find something that's stronger than that, I'm gonna go grab about 4 or 5 different things that's supposed to be the deadliest, and I'll find somebody to give me whatever the fuck I want. As a woman, I'm just saying. Um, Women have their qualities, men have their qualities. Men are good at directions. You know, women have certain instincts, men have certain instincts. But especially when it comes out people, when it come down to stuff like this, we pretty much the same. We're not trying to do that. And if you encounter someone who says that they're at that point, it's real bad. Don't turn your back on them for 1 second because they just need for things to change. They don't really want to go. Mhm. Um, it's probably some of us walking around here right now mad because they over it. They do want to leave, but they just can't come to the idea of actually taking themselves out here. They like, oh no, I'm I'm the supreme being. I'm in tune with this earth. This is my shit. I'm not leaving. Other people should leave, probably, but for me, I ain't gonna say probably. But no, I'm not leaving. But every day I can't stand this and this and that. It's just not a common thing, although it happens. There's been quite a number of situations where brothers have taken out their old ladies and then they go and pop out themselves. Well, something the hell going on there, and he know what's getting ready to happen once he done did that. So, yeah, and that weak sucker felt like he couldn't live without her, and knowing that she was somebody else for some odd reason. I've encountered dudes like that, so that does happen, but it's not too many of us, male or female, that just go off and take deletion of ourselves. They call us apes, they call us monkeys, and we're not. They're the Neanderthals. They're genetically connected to them. And, of course, they've turned the truth into lies with a lot of stuff. So we know that. Um, and some of them probably don't even know that they're actually the monkeys, but they love calling us that. And they made us believe that that's legit picking on us. But we know better now, right? So no, we're not monkeys to be climbing trees. Some of us did as children. It was fun. Some people still do now. Some people do it for a living. You know, the type of work they do. But we do more indoor rock climbing, mountain hiking, and shit like that than we just be out here climbing trees. I can't even remember the last time I climbed a tree. I used to get whooped as a child for climbing trees. Only the boys could do that. Girls can't climb trees. My father. Plus, I had to wear skirts and dresses anyway. So, but every once and again, my mama let me sneak out, throw on some shorts that she had hidden because it was totally forbidden, and we get caught maybe because it just so happened he's coming home early. And I never forget, my dad had a Pinto station wagon. We had these trees in our yard that were just so climbable. All you need is to take the trash can and put it up there. You can reach that first branch. And the boys were always outside playing, always climbing trees. But no, girls, you know, prissy and primpy and perfect. And, I couldn't do none of that shit. Boy, one time my mom let me outside, and I think I still have my school uniform on. And she put some shorts on me. I don't even know where she be getting them from. Probably one of the cousins. What she got to go through to hide it. Because when I tell you my father ruled, he was God. I did. God. And my father pulled up in that damn Pinto. And I looked down. And where he parks is like right there because it's the shade. And he pulled up and he looked up and he saw his daughter in a tree. I wanted to disappear. I don't think I've ever been more frightened in my life to this day. I didn't want to get down. He was like, "Get down out that tree." He came out, stood there. He had his hands on his hips. He was like, "Get down from that tree." I was like, "I don't know how to get down." Hey, you gonna have to come get me, bro. I can't. You're not even gonna see me climb down the tree. He gonna be madder watching me. I mean, that's how he micromanaged my existence to a T. I'm telling you. That's the last time I ever climbed a tree. But it was so fun. And I could see why they did it. I'll never forget that shit. Never. Never. My father was pissed, beyond pissed. And my mama got her ass whooped real bad for that. It took a lot of whoopings to give us a little bit of fun, if you will, or to step outside of, yeah, bless her. But to hang yourself, you probably gonna have to climb a tree. Now, as a big old grown person in the mountains, you're just closer. It's just like right here. I'm loving it. I should sign gas, but I gotta keep it moving. And plus, I'm dehydrated. I'm so thirsty. But as a grown person, you don't have to think. First of all, how am I gonna get up there? How high do I need to be? I don't want to be. For me, I haven't personally thought this through. Even with the situations, I haven't went all the way to the degree that I know I would have to go if I was going to try to do that. But I'm just thinking of some basic things that I'm sure we know we got to think about. And you're like, if I'm close to the tree, I can reach it with my foot. I'm gonna try to grab that sucker, and depending on how active and agile you are, you be surprised what you can do when you're trying to save your own life. I don't want to be close to the tree. I don't want to be close to another branch. That's why it's reasons why they pick certain trees. How many obstacles are there that we gonna have to keep going past in order to make this happen? Too many. Too many. Okay, I got to climb the tree. Everybody keep looking at me like I'm doing some weird shit. Um, Once I get up there, how would I actually do this? Hmm. Well, well, I gotta make sure it's secure around the branch. That I gotta get it around the branch, make sure it's secure. Then you gotta physically think about how you're gonna get what you have. You gotta make sure. Um, Off the top of my head, I use a yacht rope to make the ropes for rope play. That's pretty strong. It can hold a yacht. I would probably use something like that. People probably would be like, "Yeah, what kind of rope I gotta use?" They gotta research that. Okay, more work. Then you gotta think about, okay, I would need to wrap it around a tree, and then the other end would go around me. How am I gonna wrap it around that fucking branch? It's not gonna be a thin branch. I have, I don't know. You gotta find that out. Physically, how difficult is that? Okay, bro, it's already too much. Should I keep going? So I need it around my neck, but I also need to hang. Hmm. How do I make that happen? Is it a simultaneous thing? Probably not. Physically, how do I make that happen? Honestly, I can't think of anything unless I were to look it up. I will have to look it up. I wonder if there are any videos out there that will show you how to do something like that. Probably not. Probably not. It's too much work, y'all. It's too much work. If we look at cases where people have done this and we're pretty sure that they've done it, they've actually done it. Let's say a jail cell. Yes, anything could have happened. Anybody could have done it. A mate, a officer, yes. But let's just play along because the scenario is you can't go anywhere and you have limited access to things. So I hear they even take your shoestrings. I've heard of people using bed sheets and whatnot. Me, I can't go to jail. I've always said this. I don't care what the situation is. I can't let an officer touch me, much less put me in cuffs. and much less put me in jail. You know, the problem with the Sandra Bland situation. Do I think they did it? Yeah. The way she cussed that officer out, yeah. Oh yeah. Um, but they also said she did it. Is it possible? I had to think about that. The way I'm built, I can't. I've never, and I like the role play. I like cosplay. I like, you know, costume design is my major. So, you guys, anybody who I've been with, I like the role play. But one thing I've never had is I've never been tied up or restrained. I can't play that role. Mentally, I cannot. I wouldn't even try. I'm not going to nobody's jail cell. I'm not getting locked in nowhere that I can't make a choice to leave from. I don't care what the situation is. I'm not ever going to jail. I can imagine the type of panic that somebody would go through, especially a woman being in there. You calling people like she was trying to get out and stuff like that. Um, but that's something that we honestly don't know. But I do think that they did that shit. A white man can't handle being talked to like that, and she, oh, I don't condone what she did either because it's not smart. You're not that you're supposed to talk to anybody like that, but black men are very used to it. The sister, the mother, the girlfriend, so disrespectful with the mouth. They've been cussed out like a dog before in their life, for sure. But the way she went off on that white man, I said, she done. That man ain't never had nobody talk to him like that before. But we've had reportings of people that were in a cell, they had no other choice, and they took a sheet and they did it. They couldn't handle it. I think we can see that. I think we can see that because of the situation. Hey, because of the confinement, feeling like, oh my God, I can't take another day of this, another second. Um, it's not natural for us to be like that. I'm not getting out. People gonna do this to me, do that to me. That type of thing. We can see that. But when you just out as a freaking human that got a brain and legs, and even if you don't have no phone, your phone turned off. You can't pay your bills. I don't know. Say I'm just out here and I'm just walking. Before I look for something to get in one of these trees out here in this woods, I can go stand at this street and go through as many men as I need to and coerce them to give or do anything to where I can have a bundle of options of something that would be a whole lot easier before I sit up here and be like, damn, all this research. I feel like I'm trying to get my college degree, my doctorate. All right, I think I'm equipped with the knowledge. Okay, I found everything I need. It's too difficult. It's too much to go through. And it's too physically difficult. It's too physically difficult. Cute little doll. It's too physically difficult. I'm stuck at climbing the tree, one end of the rope in his hand, one end of the rope in the other hand. I can't get the concept because I don't know that much, but you got to get it around the tree and in a good, secure knot. Then you got to try to figure out how how am I going to get the other end of that rope around my neck and hang. If you ask yourself that question, what answer do you come up with? I don't know. Nobody just knows how to do something like that. That's too much to go through. Somebody else had to do that to you. So I got a little louder at that point, and she is definitely uncomfortable. I can't wait. I wish somebody would say something to me about the type of conversation I'm having. I wish a motherfucker would. She's her face was like she picked that dog up. Okay. She hurried up, got her ass over there to her truck. Somebody would have to do that to you. Somebody would have to do that to you. We're not even talking about some black, some white, a bunch of white people. We talking about all of us. No matter where we came from, what state, what island, we're connected. We know us. We do. We got some shit. We're something special. We are very unlike them, and we know us, and we us regardless. We are us, and we know. We just know, and can't nobody else who isn't us tell us that we don't know that we aren't doing that. As I'm talking and walking and looking, I see a bunch of pines. I see stuff that, was intentionally planted for decoration. But, um, it's a lot of pines in a lot of places. Um, I think about and research shit like everything because that's how I was raised on purpose and not females because they don't want anything to bear anything that could benefit us like fruit. They want to control everything. It's certain trees that you will have to use due to some of the things that I mentioned and a whole lot that we probably don't know about. But they have the strong enough branches. They have the room for you to kick around without actually grabbing onto another branch and trying to do some crazy shit you didn't know you could do. I don't see no tree out here that would fit the bill. So now we got to go find the goddamn tree. Uh, Not that that would be too difficult, but damn, if I just look alone out here, I'm in the mountains. Shit, what better place? Hmm, no, I don't see any trees. The branches, there's certain trees. Listen to Billie Holiday. Listen to Lean Simone. Look it up. Those old, thick, strong trees, uh, branches that stick out like arm, and they thick and they strong, and they branch out. And a lot of times you're like somewhere like in the middle or closer to the front of that long ass branch on display because they like to stand there and watch you and they want you away from other branches and away from the trunk and all that. Again, yeah, she put that safety vest on and she crossing the street over the headquarters. I guarantee you, probably ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me, but I guarantee you she gonna tell somebody because these folk kill. It ain't like being at the Atlanta terminal. I'm gonna tell you that. I tell you that. And she was all hello when she first went across the street. But when she came back, and I said, you can't hang it so somebody else got to do it to you. She picked that dog up. Went over across there. I know she going inside where the dispatchers are because she didn't take her dog. Because everybody got their dog in there. In certain places, you can't take your dog. And you can't take your dog back there. You can't take them in the showers. You can't. I think they can take them in the bathroom, but not in the showers. Um, and you can't take them back there with the dispatchers. And she is walking swiftly. This is funny. Um, we're not having this conversation like we should. Some people try to make it seem like it could be up for debate. We know it's not up for debate. You got some idiots who are either uneducated or they just sambos, and they say he did. He a sucker. He tired of life, or um, you never know. Maybe he did. Nigga, we don't need to debate this shit. It didn't happen. Even if you do as much as I just did in this live, you still got to go further than that to accomplish the shit. When you lay it out intellectually, realistically, it's too much to go through. We are not going to go through all the fuck that. We can do other things. First of all, we the one who invented all the good shit to make life. I don't want to say easier, but I guess shit to help out. Cause damn, they was working us till we dropped dead. So we started inventing shit. That's how our mind works. We not gonna just sit up here and be like, I'm gonna pick the hardest, dumbest shit in the world to do it too. That ought to get them. Fuck that. Even if you wanted to, even if you was a Sambo, even if your ass was pissed at black people for not fucking everybody up and kicking ass and getting our shit back. I don't care. You want to just do it to your people like that, which no, no matter how disappointed you are, mad you are, at the end of the day, we still love us. And you got some people that really they hate themselves. So it's nothing you can do about that. They hate us. They hate us all. Good for them. But nobody, when you get to thinking about all that shit you're gonna have to go through, you're gonna be like, damn, like you really gotta you gotta be a determined fool to go through all that. And 9 times out of 10, your ass still ain't gonna get it right and you're gonna be laughed at. It's just not happening. And when you try to think it out like I just did, it makes you more angry, more offended. But we didn't need to do all that. We're offended because you saying it. You saying it off the top. We're offended because you saying it, and that's what the freak y'all was doing to us. But again, we don't talk about lynching enough. And that's what my content finna be for the most part. I'm gonna find the time. True stories. Fuck these mosquitoes. True stories about how they used to do. True stories about how serious that business is to them. What it really means to them. How it makes them feel. And people like say, "Oh, we're so unserious." Yeah. Why when they say um when they say it's war and they're gonna take us out and hunt us down, they're having the time of their life and they meant it. It's not just shit they're saying online. Um, it was already. written. That's the way things are. And y'all better take it. It's not okay to keep letting them be so disrespectful to just come on here and say, oh, they did it to themselves. I'm passing all these damn trucks and shit and people and just, damn, I got ate up real bad that in this last little few minutes. Oh, they got me so good. Um, I'm finna go get me a bottle of alcohol. Rub it out on my damn legs. Oh, oh, they got me. Uh, why everybody running they AC and standing in their trucks? But while they in the shop or they on their break doing their 24, 34, 10 hour, whatever, get your ass out, bro. Go in the gym. I left my yoga mat in there. Ain't nobody gonna touch it. Anytime I walk in there, I know I got any weight machine I want. I'm out here walking. They probably like, why the fuck is she in the hot ass sun? Why is she walking? Nigga, cause look at you. Look at you. The thought never I know we be wore out, we be exhausted. You be unless you do it for a living, you be overly surprised at how much it drains you to um, drive in this job, the mental, the physical, it exhausts and paralyzes you. But uh, last thing I want to be is just still in a truck. I want to be out, especially in the sun, you know. But that's me. That's me. Always I one out, always the different one. I'm like, y'all can look at me how you want to. I hope I inspired you. I hope you thought, well, maybe just one time. And next time I'll take a walk. I'll get some sun. Try to get some vitamin D. Every time she come here, she go to that gym. You know, I could get my sexy back. I used to lift weights. Maybe I'll go on the gym next time. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, but I'm about to check out this company car and go. Because I'm gonna need a whole bottle of alcohol. They tore these thighs up. Mm. So then, uh, before I go to the gym, that car always be there too. I'm like, damn. And that's how exhausted you be, man. They got a pool table in there. It's pretty cool. Old movie theater on the other side. Everybody be in their truck sleep. You see them when they come in, do laundry, get some water, ice, or whatever. But hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I don't even know. I ain't no telling. I can't even remember when I pressed that mute button. Right now, I don't. I know I pressed it for a reason, but it's supposed to be a real quick thing. So I don't even know how long I just been talking and yelling and being. That's the doggone shit. You know, leave me getting messed up. However, I know you didn't hear the explanation that I gave about the phone call that I got when I was in Walmart. So, dang, I got to do it again, and I'm so close. All right, so the dude called me. I said it was probably him, the guard, about the van, and yes, it was. And they're not gonna call unless somebody else comes and asks for the vehicle. Now, technically, you get an hour. Everybody's given an hour, so nobody can say, "Oh, you get at least an hour." Saying you go over the hour, of course. But, if it's a couple hours and then somebody wants it, then it makes sense to call that person and be like, hey, we got people here and they need to use the vehicle. Okay, that's something. Uh, but the hour is not even set in stone. It's just that's the minimum that you're granted. So nobody can get mad and say, it's been 30 minutes, someone's come back. Well, however, that's what old girl did. So when he called me, he said, "There's a guy there." He said, "Both of them pissed," and I'm like, "Well, we just reached my hour." So all that ain't even necessary. And I'm the only drivers here. Somebody might have a vehicle. Uh, shit, I've been doing this a long time, and when it comes to stuff like that, hey, you see it, you better go ahead and get it. Don't be thinking it's gonna be there later on, because it could be sitting there, and then somebody might grab it, and you just don't know what they got planned. So you better use it when you see it. It's that type of thing. And of course, you do what it's going to be courteous, right? Okay. So he said the guy's upset. And then he said the girl came back to us. Now, the first time she came, I hadn't been gone 30 minutes. And she came and told him, told me. I can tell in his voice. See, I talked about a lot of stuff and y'all ain't in here. But I'm trying to summarize before I get there because I want y'all to see it. I got my battery and all that. Because I might have to, the family. I need to rewind my brain because I shouldn't forget because just to say, let me chill. Let me chill because I'm dangerous. And I know. So I will go out my way. I will. Because, she might get some shit that really wasn't hers. So I don't want to do that. However, let me tell you how she will be all the way in the wrong if something was to pop off. Of course, I would not be aggressive. I would not be provoking, you know. If it was something else, I probably would. If I felt petty at that moment, and I'm not dressed up, so it's not. Yeah, but of course, I'm thinking about who would have the most burden to bear, right? And of course, it would need to be her because I don't have an issue. So we can start there. Secondly, regardless of how she thinks or feels, yeah, there should be no issue. So you should avoid any type of issue being raised. And we're adults, we can solve anything, fix it, whatever, without all that. But she's off the top in the wrong. So it would be documented that she was not only aggressive with me, she been messing with the guard. I'm sick. She was messing with the guard. And he said she came back the second time and was jumping at him because he didn't call me because she came and I know she demanded. They said she told him to call. And then she came back and was mad because she didn't call. He didn't call me. He said that's not what they do. That's not the procedure. It's not reasonable. I haven't even had the minimum yet, and she wasn't even listening to what he was saying. So, you know, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. If I was him, I would have just put the word on her because she wouldn't be sitting on my yard acting like that. She's the problem, right? And then he should have suspected that it could be an altercation with us. So he should put a pre-warning. But keep her. But I'm personally concerned. And he was telling both of them they need to chill because, I'm just approaching the hour. So it's not even reasonable. It's not even what they would do. If I was gone for flowers, and people was there waiting, then that's when it would make sense for him to talk. They know how to intervene there with the rules. Yeah, when you become a problem, then that's it. That's not like I was saying. Don't make demands on nobody. This ain't your shit. It's not your rules either. So she all the way wrong. She's problematic, and her approach is nasty, and she's not the way to her. So whoever gets, you said it. He's a cool dude. I like it. Whoever gets it, gets it. And if she been trying to say something, I'm gonna try to avoid that. You always gotta make sure that you're not at fault. Okay? If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, maybe some other time, But you wanna just make sure you're not at fault. Especially when you're so especially if you're not dead. The police are called, somebody got to go to the hospital or the morgue. You want it to be said, hey, she's nice. And it was avoidance. And this person was all the way around. They were there. That's what you want. And I'm trying to learn how to do it. What's the rapture? And then if the kid in the bag cut it off, it ain't no spell. All right. That bag is pretty tight. So I put this bag in my bag. I would hate to break this bottle of juice because I paid $10 for it, but if I got to try this bag, maybe I'll try this bag. In fact, we're gonna do this shit. I had it all together, but now I don't know what I did with this thing. So, not really. I did all that. Now we do. not no for me that look into attention too long. But yeah, you're still sitting there. Nobody beat you up, so hey, I don't know. She seemed pretty like I was just like, no, it's not worth it. Yeah, yeah. That's hogs run fast. Boars. And they strong too. Yeah. All of them are fast. Alligators are fast. Crocodiles are fast. So she too short. I was thinking about that on the way back. I said, now if this girl comes to me like she was acting out there because now she got came back and came back. Said, I'm gonna do everything I can to avoid an altercation. I mean, we at work. It's not that serious. Uh-huh. Probably broke hours too. You know, it's I'm just like, okay, well, yeah. I didn't do anything. It's a way to cook combos, but I literally just went to Walmart. It doesn't take a while. So I said, let me go home because I don't want to go to the gym. I'm surprised she didn't get it from there. If that woman called me, do you think she would have been nice? But I don't think so. So I think I was just thinking to myself, all the things not to do, the way you handle something, it matters. And I'm just like, I just see this like, okay, calm down. You know, you're supposed to try to avoid things. So I was thinking, okay, I'm supposed to go to the store. I really wanted some cold to drink, but I won't. You know what? After we talked, I was checking out. I walked back. I always park at the end of the line because I'm fat. And I need to lose weight. So I park all the way at the end all the time. Actually, I'm 30 times on the way, and it's tough. Blood pressure is good, but that's because I'm anemic. I don't have sugar, so I don't think they check it. I do. I actually got stuff to make a shake. I'm pretty healthy wise, but it's like we overestimate the amount we should be eating. No, no, no. Actually, it's a real thing because they don't care. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see, the thing is with me, I'm gonna tell you this because when I say that, people think I'm being, but that's because we don't know each other, right? So I know how I normally am, and I'm getting tempted. Yes, in October. This is the most unhealthy, biggest I've ever been. Yeah, and I just got this weight on me. I started back driving. I forgot February. I need to lose 30 pounds. It is hard carrying around this weight. I've never been this big unless I was carrying a baby or something, you know? So I don't want to get to 50 and then feel like I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. That, see, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Because, trust me, I don't feel that way. It's weird to say that because I never had a problem with myself. However, I don't even know who I am. That's how much overweight I am. And I'm telling you, I can't handle it. I want to take it off and give it to somebody every day because it's a lot to carry. Mhm. Exactly. No, I never had that problem. Yes, and I want to be healthy. I don't want to be unable. And I'm I'm struggling. That's me. I'm going right over there to that gym, and you know what I was saying when I was on my way back here? I said, I don't know if I should go to the gym because I know she's parked over there somewhere. And if I come back and it's dark, she might catch me. And I said, he's not gonna come and help me. Like, she was so upset, and I'm just like, it's not that serious. Not that serious.